There it is.
That was
Becca's
my cue.
trademark belch into the mic to welcome to Beach Theory. We're back, and I'm super excited to be here.
And wow, holy cow, I cannot believe it that we are not in the same place
what
as
is
the
this
last
place?
time. Where are we?
Oh, Becca.
Oh,
It looks like we're at the beach. Do you see the
Oh, I think
sand
we're at the
and
beach.
waves? There's a wave
House.
behind me crashing. Can you guys hear it?
That's really
That's the sound.
That's a really good impression.
That's the sound of
That's
a
a
wave
good
crashing.
impression.
Thank you. Glad you liked it. With the last name like beach, you have to be good at making wave crashing sounds.
That was mine.
I'm
Pretty
so
good.
excited to be here. This is exciting. It's been a little while, actually. We recorded
really
a whole bunch
has.
of episodes over a weekend, and it's been a while since we've recorded a podcast.
Yes.
And I'm
So,
stoked.
We are ready to record our next batch of podcasts. We're going to be in the same clothes for the next 5 episodes. Actually, I don't know how many, but
It'll be harder to film just because to record because you are having some pregnancy issues.
I really am, and we will talk about that later. But,
Yeah, we're actually going to record a podcast
so if you
later.
hear this sound, that was exaggerated.
That's Becca drinking
That's
water.
me drinking water,
Trying
so
to
that
stay
I
hydrated.
don't have contractions.
We've had a
Have
couple
baby.
of close calls recently.
Yes.
But you are, what, 30 weeks now?
Yes.
Exactly?
Yeah. Is it Tuesday?
Today's Wednesday, so
30 weeks and 1 day right now.
right.
And
That's good.
that is good because that's 2 weeks more than I was when I started having contractions.
Yes.
That's 2 weeks more for the baby to grow in my belly and
That's right.
not have a preemie. So that's
We're just
good.
hoping you go full term.
Woo.
So what's on the agenda for today, Becca?
So we're going to start off right where we left off, which is
Ooh.
basically we
Who'da
were
thunk?
at... Did we say the name of the storage units?
I don't know. I don't think we did. But
Okay.
I don't know if we're going to, are we? We don't need to.
I bet we already did.
Maybe we did.
Cody, did we already say the name? I think so, yeah. I think we did say it.
We just said it was in Santaquin, Utah, I think. That's what we said. It doesn't matter.
I just said it anyway.
You
so
did?
I said it.
Oh,
said it.
I didn't hear you.
Yeah, under my breath. But they heard. So yeah. Something that I was thinking about when we were just catching up on where we had left off is that was actually the perfect job for us because we were moochers before that. Like, we just wanted everything for free, and it's not like we knew this at the time. It's only me looking back now thinking, oh, that's what was going on. That was our previous experience, was really just being kids in our parents' house. And then, you went on a mission, and that was the most experience you had outside of living with your family.
Right.
And then from there, you went and lived with family again and people in the ward and
right, in Utah with my dad.
And then basically we
real
just
dad.
kind of did what we knew at the time, which was relying on other people.
Right.
And so that was what was comfortable to us. That was what we knew. Anything more would have been really hard for us to we were just kids, adults.
With 2 kids.
Yeah, kids with 2 kids that wanted to be taken care of still, but also we just wanted the freedom of having our own everything. So it was just a tough time. So what I'm getting at is that the storage unit job was really perfect for us because it was a live-in job.
We fell in love with that job.
We loved it. It was the perfect baby step up for us.
Yes.
So that we were still being taken care of, and it felt like mooching, but really we were earning it because we were...
You were working.
We were working for it.
We were both working, actually.
Yeah.
I worked on the weekends.
So that was a very good learning growth experience. I don't know.
I think you were getting paid $400.
Yep,
a month.
$400 a month.
And we
plus,
got a cell phone with the job.
Yep.
And I was working at the warehouse, Die Cuts with a View.
Yep.
As the auditor. And we were doing that for probably almost a year, I think.
And then we had free rent too.
Yeah. Pretty consistently for about a year.
And a storage unit, so we could live in that tiny house.
Yeah, because we had all the storage units we could ever want.
Yeah.
But we whipped that place into shape.
Yeah.
But I was working at the warehouse for a year, I think, before I quit for because you wanted to.
Well, I was pregnant.
Yeah,
We found out I was pregnant with Ellie, and then you were like, okay, I think it's time because.
But before you got pregnant, actually, while I was still working at Die Cuts, we started. So we had that YouTube channel we started in Florida.
Yes.
And then,
which wasn't really doing much, and we expected at any second to get a viral video.
Mm-hmm.
So we just kept posting random things, like a video of James crying because his little toy truck broke. We've learned a lot since.
So it was. So we moved to the storage units in like April, I think it was, of 2012. Corbin was 6 months old, or what, 4 or 5, 6 months old. And then it was in August. So April, May, June, July, August, 4 months after we moved in.
My sister was getting married, and I was like...
Jennifer was getting married.
I was like, this is the perfect opportunity to make a video. So I think I'm going to make a video of making wedding centerpieces, which I would really like to put a little tiny clip of that video in right now.
I'm making decorative jars for a centerpiece for Jennifer's wedding again.
Into the podcast. So if you're watching on YouTube, make sure, well, I guess if you're listening, make sure to also watch it on YouTube so that you can see the clip of the very first
put pictures and videos
video
on the YouTube video for you guys to enjoy.
I have tried since to watch that video, and it is the worst ever.
I think you were filming with
the audio is like horrible. I think the AC or something was on in that house, and it was like so loud.
We would always have to turn off the AC anytime we started recording.
Yeah.
Because it was so loud.
Yeah. And the video quality was like pixelated, and
you were using a cell phone, like a cheap ghetto cell phone.
Yeah, like the one that probably filmed like
I think it was the first iPhone I ever bought. No, it was the Droid Incredible.
Yes.
That was the phone I had.
Yes.
Droid Incredible.
Wow. It is not
like,
incredible.
At the time, it was incredible. And I remember being like, oh my goodness, this video quality is awesome. This camera is awesome. I actually got it because I think it had a really good camera. But I love that camera. And that's where we filmed all of our videos.
Wow.
For our old family vlogging channel.
I look at that now and I'm like, garbage. Literal garbage. Like, that is so
I'm amazed
bad.
sometimes that those old videos still get views.
I know.
Like, who would watch that crap?
Oh, I don't even know. But at the time, comparable to everyone else's videos, it was pretty comparable.
That's true, actually.
Like, I mean, unless you were a professional.
There was no 4K.
Really nice
I don't think there was
cameras.
even 1080p back then. Back in 2012?
No, they had 480. I remember. It was
480,
like
720 was like the high quality.
Yes, and it was like 720.
Yeah.
Wow. And if you used it, it would bog down your internet and you wouldn't be able to watch the video.
You couldn't even stream it because it was too high quality.
Because back then, the internet wasn't that strong.
We've come a long way in not very long.
I know.
The world is changing so fast.
You know what? That's also something I actually really wanted to talk about. I feel like we're on baby number 5 now.
Right.
And this is jumping forward a tiny bit, but not really, because this is how I've always thought and how I've always dealt with hard things. But what happens, like, especially when I'm pregnant or something, like I go through this hard thing and I block it from my memory when I'm done. Like, I literally go, that was hard. Now I'm going to forget about it and move forward. And like
and
that.
Do it again.
And do it again. But like, it's been a survival tactic for me, I think, because I don't want to be somebody that will focus on something that's hard and use it like a crutch that I can never move forward from. But I've only recently started to realize that it's almost not good in some ways that I'm forgetting all these things that I've been through or gone through because I can't tell other people how I've gotten to where I am. Like,
it's harder to relate with people that are in the
what did
trenches.
I do? Yeah, like like when I was going through that hard thing that maybe a family member or a friend is going through, I'm like, wait, what did I do? Like, and so I'm trying to remember them now a little bit more.
Yeah.
And find that
That makes sense.
Really good balance in between. So I'm not like complaining or using things as a crutch, but I also am not forgetting these hard things that I've been through so that I can use them as a teaching tool, even for my kids growing up.
What lesson did you learn, and how can you help other people learn that lesson without going
through the same struggle? And how did I feel when I was in that, like...
So you can have sympathy.
Because it's hard.
Yeah.
And it's easy to look back when you're in a perfect situation, when your body's not pregnant, when you're feeling healthy and fit and you have money or whatever. Like, it's easy to look back and go, oh, that wasn't so hard. Because right now, it's not so hard.
Right.
But when you're in it, it's hard.
Well, that's absolutely true. It's like going to work out at the gym. Like, I've been going to work out a lot, and every time I'm like dreading going to the gym, and it's really hard while I'm there, but as soon as I leave, I'm like, oh, that wasn't so bad. And I feel better. And like, I feel stronger.
Yeah.
And so my body is getting stronger. And so my ability to go to the gym and exercise is better.
And so your memory starts to fade of the first few times you went to the gym.
How hard it actually was.
How difficult it actually
was.
Totally.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah. So I would say,
that's weird.
I don't know. I would say there's value in remembering these hard things.
Right.
There is value in it, and not just blocking it from your memory and moving forward, which is what I've typically done as a survival technique. Anyways, where were we?
So we started Pins and Things, and your whole argument was, I want to do these crafts. I want to make these banners or these centerpieces, but it costs money.
And we don't have money.
And we don't have any money. So
we ain't got no money.
So you came to me and actually said, if I film a video,
it's an investment.
Maybe it'll get views and make money. So
it will make us money. And he's such a business mind. He's like, oh, you're right. And I'm like, yeah, I tricked him. And really, it ended up being an investment.
Well, I knew that there was potential on YouTube to make a lot of money doing tutorials, and you were very artistic and very talented. And so I said, okay,
thanks.
If you'll film the videos, I'll try my best to edit, even though I have never done any editing before.
Yeah.
And I've never managed a YouTube channel before, and I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
But we'll just do our best and see what happens, and maybe it'll pay for itself. Your $10
and
craft.
That was the hope,
maybe we'll
right?
make $10, right?
And Michael's like, "Oh, it will definitely work. It's gonna work." And I'm like, "As long as I get to do a craft, I don't care if it works or not." Really, that's how I felt.
Yeah, joke's on you.
I know, right?
That's right.
So it worked over time, but not immediately.
It took forever. I feel like.
Yeah, it really
like
did.
This whole journey, because I mean, we started.
Well, let's just talk logistically. When did it actually start paying off?
So we started in August of 2012.
Yeah.
And then I think it was the following spring. That fall we did a couple Halloween videos that didn't do very great. But the following spring we did some Easter videos, like Easter eggs. I think we did a slime video.
Ooh, I did an Easter cake.
And we
did that slime video, yeah.
The Easter cake came a year later.
That was later.
That was like a whole year after.
I thought you were talking about that time.
I'm talking about the very first.
We do Easter every year, guys. This is why it's confusing.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I should pull up the whole list of videos on YouTube just to kind of jog my memory.
Speaking of Easter cake, I should really redo that Peeps cake and do another video on it, because some of those old videos.
That was a good video.
No, I wouldn't change it. That's the thing. I would just refilm it and say, hey, we're retrying a Pins and Things classic.
Oh, that would be interesting.
And then because now we have better audio and better video and better skills all around.
That would be really interesting.
A much better video.
I remember the first video on Pins and Things that really...
He's looking at it right now on his phone.
I'm trying to. That really kind of took off and helped the channel
it was a slime video.
It was a slime video. I think that...
Because we were like, it's going viral.
Something's gonna... But I think we had 1,000 views or something.
Yeah,
but at the time
much.
That was like,
it was like,
holy cow,
it's happening. It's happening. Quit your job quick.
Right? Okay, so
I laugh because I'm glad he didn't quit his job.
So I'm looking at okay, so we did the easy wedding videos.
This is so weird.
And then you did a couple of just super ghetto tutorials, and then we did some Halloween stuff.
How to
costumes,
make a yarn wig.
Yarn wig. I remember that video did really well, and it's sitting right now at 330,000 views.
Oh, holy cow.
Like,
see, like, this is what I don't even
how to make a cloak.
this.
I remember that video popping and doing really well on your channel. And then we just did a whole bunch of really simple, short Halloween videos that didn't do much. And then here it is. How to make slime. When did we post this video? It's got 775,000 views.
Wow.
I wonder if there's a way I can tell when it was posted.
Wow, that is so weird. And I used somebody else's picture off of Pinterest.
We used to always grab pictures off the internet.
I didn't even use...
I would just Google, like, slime pictures.
It's not even
Oh, oops.
It's an ad.
Ad on the... I thought I had YouTube Premium. I don't pay for it. I don't watch it. Okay, when did we post this thing already?
Michael, don't say that.
What?
Guys, don't get YouTube Premium. Keep giving us money.
Whatever. YouTube Premium is awesome because then you never have to watch another ad. So we published this video December 24th, 2012.
Wow.
So we started in August.
Wow. And I'm even wearing an Apex t-shirt.
September, October, November. So it was like 4 months after we started the channel that we had our first big hit.
Yeah.
And it's hard to tell now without looking into the analytics, like how many views it actually got.
Yeah.
But I just remember being like, oh, this is crazy. We gotta do more, you know.
And then quickly Michael starts learning to check the analytics.
And so we did the Harlem Shake.
Oh, that's so funny. We've done a lot of weird things. I actually think it would be really funny to do a Pins and Things video on reacting to all of the weird things.
Your old videos.
I got kids are cool. Oh wait, I like kids are cool. I got two. Like these
that was when you were pregnant with
weird
Ellie.
Things that I've done.
Why did we even do that?
The baby gender reveal
so
with Charlie. Like, I mean, I have grown up on the internet to an extent.
We both have. We talk about when we started Pins and Things, how we were just kids with kids, and we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
Like, we really have grown up on the internet.
As adults, I told you,
we've matured a lot.
Later we'll get to this, but I have gone through a YouTube puberty, I would say.
Definitely.
And it's we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, that's a whole episode just by itself. But that wasn't happening.
How embarrassing.
At this point, when we started Pins and Things, we were just like, oh, do whatever it takes to explode.
Then right after the slime video, I got pregnant.
With Ellie. That was in December, the slime video, and I think it was like around February, March that you got pregnant.
Yeah, but that's right after.
And then we did some really good this Easter egg candy craft video. Right now it's at 123,000, but I think it did really well at the time for the channel. And at this point on Pins and Things, I think that's when you started making like a few dollars a day. I think you were making a few dollars a day.
And it was like, holy cow, this is actually making money.
Yeah.
Before that, it was pennies and pennies and pennies.
Right? But I
think we made a significant amount of money. And then we were like, should we quit your job?
It was that spring, right as you got pregnant, and Pins and Things was starting to see some traction, just a little bit. You know, I don't even think we were making $100 a month yet. It wasn't even a paycheck each month yet. But it was like $30 a month or $50 or something. Yeah. And then it was that spring when you got pregnant. I'd been working at my job for a year. And I said, Becca, if you're going to be pregnant, it's going to be hard to run Apex alone.
Because it was already hard enough I had lost my milk with Corbin.
Yeah.
I was going to say Chick Corbin too. Exactly like that. I was going to say Chick Corbin.
No more kids with first names starting with C.
I know, that is one thing with this new baby.
The new baby's name will not start with a C or a J or an E.
So, anyways, there was enough stress. It had, made me lose my milk, and I had to be on my toes all day, at any second being ready to answer the door. And with 2 small children and being nauseous, that was impossible.
And you got very nauseous at that point.
Yeah.
In your early pregnancies, at the early part of pregnancy, you were sick almost all the time.
Yeah.
And as you've had more kids, it's gotten better, but it was definitely worse earlier.
Yep. I would say kids. James was the absolute worst. I was so miserable with him. Then it got way better with Corbin. And then it was about the same with Ellie. And then it got a little bit better with Charlie. And then I think this one has been
the easiest.
Well,
from a perspective of
some
nauseous.
Ways, yeah, nauseous.
Because you've only thrown up once during this whole pregnancy.
Yes, but nauseous all the time. That is one difference.
But you found some medicine that helped too that you never had in the other pregnancies.
That's true.
So,
So it has been better.
Yeah, it has. But anyway, you got pregnant, and I said, okay, I've been at my job for a year. We'd been at the storage units for a year.
Yep.
So we actually talked to the boss, and we said, hey, look, I'm going to quit my job and help do the storage units. So you'll have 2 people working at the storage units full time.
And I think that was when
And we asked kind of like for a raise. I said, I want to quit my job to help.
Oh, I don't remember this.
Yeah, I said, I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to help with Apex full time. Can we get more of a paycheck each month to support, the extra? Because we got 2 of us now, not just one.
Yeah.
So instead of $400 a month, could we maybe get a little bit more? So I think I even asked for 5, but they gave us 6.
Yeah, $600 a month.
And so when you add the $600 a month plus, the $50 we were making on YouTube
and free rent
and everything else included, like we were doing pretty good. Like we had to cut back a lot.
Significantly comfortable.
We had to cut back on a lot of expenses. I think that's when we got rid of my cell phone because we were just using the storage cell phones.
And we were together all the time, probably.
And we saved money on gas.
But then we leave. That was another thing. We didn't really travel or go anywhere, really.
Because we were home all day for the storage units.
Because we had to be home.
But then we were on food stamps, and that's how we were able to survive for food.
Which is really
we couldn't have lived off of $600 a month without food stamps.
Like now I'm like, how rude.
What?
I guess I look at that and I'm like, they could have paid us a little bit more so we wouldn't have had to be on food stamps.
Right.
Like, I guess I look at it like that and I'm like, maybe we're better bosses than they were.
Maybe.
Okay, I shouldn't say that. That's really
definitely. I don't even know if they're around anymore. Maybe they changed their name.
I don't know.
Who knows? I hope they never hear this.
Let's not talk anymore about. I'm like feeling really bad now.
It's hard not to, because that was our life at the time.
It was.
And that was our reality.
And honestly, we were fine with that.
We were totally cool with it.
We were like, food stamps? Hey.
Like, looking back, you might
works.
feel, like, what jerks. But at the time in our life, we were like, this is awesome.
This is living the high life.
We were comfortable.
Think about where we had come from.
Right.
I was raised where we were on food stamps a lot too.
Right.
And like, that was kind of a comfortable way.
And I think we were getting like $400 a month on food stamps.
It was a good amount for us at the time.
And with 2 small kids, we were sitting pretty. I think I gained a lot. I gained the most weight I'd ever had in my entire life at that point.
That's true. You
injured
did.
my back because I was
trying to run
overweight.
randomly.
I was trying to exercise. I remember.
Yeah. Well,
but like every month was budgeted exactly.
Yeah.
Like, we have exactly this much for all of these different expenses, and that was it. There was nothing extra.
Nothing extra. And honestly, it's not rude that they paid us the certain amount because we were perfectly fine with that. Mm-hmm. If we weren't, we would have gone somewhere else.
Right.
We would have done something else.
But we were planning on being there for 10 years.
We were like
we were happy.
So content that we just wanted to stay there forever, honestly.
We did.
And if we had, look at what we wouldn't have now. Like, it wouldn't have pushed us to do pins and things. Because
that's true. Looking back.
Yeah.
But you're getting ahead of the story.
I know. But now we know, right? It's so easy to look back and go, if that wouldn't have happened, this wouldn't have happened. Right. If that wouldn't have happened, this wouldn't have happened. And look where we wouldn't be right now.
We've learned a lot.
If we didn't get fired, which is where I'm jumping the gun.
You. If you're watching this, thank you for firing us. Even though at the time it was devastating.
Oh yeah.
But we're still getting way ahead of the story.
I know.
We're not there yet.
I know.
That was that was something thinking about, talking back at this time in our life and how hard it was. Like, that was. Well,
this is a time of, I guess, reminiscing and when you have the information, when we are where we are now, it's easy to look back and go, wow.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
So I guess the spoiler is we got fired from that job.
Fired.
But we'll talk about that probably in another episode.
Yeah.
You got pregnant.
I quit
my job.
And I was like, I have this brilliant idea. I had been on YouTube a little bit watching other people's videos. And I saw somebody that was doing a week by week pregnancy update, and I was like, that is brilliant. My channel will explode.
So I was like, let's do it. Let's do weekly pregnancy updates.
Let's
with
just
Ellie.
say you can just plan on every single video that we did at this time. We thought this is it. This is the viral video. This is it.
Well,
this is the viral video.
At the time,
every single video that we posted, we thought, it's going to be this one. It's going to be this one.
Right.
It's going to be this one.
Well, when I quit my job, we were like, okay, we're going to do storage full time, but we're also going to really dive deeper into YouTube because we'd started to see that return. And so we saw the potential.
Speaking of returns, we at that point made the decision to take all of our income tax returns and put them towards better equipment.
Yep.
So we were like, yeah, I think the phone's not cutting it anymore, or this or that.
We still were using the phones for that whole year.
We got lighting, I think, or something.
We got it for Christmas.
We were like,
but
okay,
we started using a backdrop.
Yeah.
We started being a little bit more scripted, more professional, not just ghetto. I don't
even remember what we bought with our income tax return, but I know that we were investing it towards YouTube.
It was the following year. So when you got pregnant and I quit my job, that was right around the time we would have gotten a tax return, but it wasn't very much, so we didn't have enough to invest.
Oh, okay.
I think we might have paid off debt or something. We were reading Dave Ramsey at the time.
Oh, yes.
Getting out of debt, trying to live within our means.
Total Money Makeover, highly, highly suggest it. That flipped our life around.
Yes.
From being moochers.
Yes.
It really did.
And getting into debt or being in debt.
We realized where we were going wrong, and we were like, okay, got to get that $1,000. What is it?
Emergency fund.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a big deal for us. That actually saved us later. We'll talk about that.
We got debt free.
Yeah.
During this time.
Yep. So it was really good. It wasn't in my mind, I wasn't thinking this is so hard. But I think that I was a lot more adamant about doing things a certain way that the bosses liked when I was doing Apex alone.
Right. You definitely had your own style, and I had my own style, too.
And they liked my style better.
How do you know that, though?
Because they said that when they fired us.
Really?
Yes.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
They said they liked your style better.
Yes.
And because I was doing all the work, they didn't want us there anymore.
Pretty much.
Did you just not tell me that for a reason? Or are you saying that now to try to hurt my feelings?
No, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings.
I don't remember hearing that.
No, what they said was, now get prepared.
Because we were at 100% occupancy, and we were doing good.
We were doing really good. We had really rehabilitated the whole place, and it was on the 4th of July.
You just can't help but jump ahead of the story, can you?
I know.
You just want to talk about this, don't you?
Well, it's naturally going that way.
It just keeps
going.
In
3 minutes. We only have 3 minutes. Let's not talk about that. Okay, stay tuned for the next episode where we will dive deep into why we got fired.
But for now,
let's finish about we had Ellie.
Yeah. So
She's made out of chocolate cheesecake, chocolate milk, chocolate oranges, and any other sweets that I could get my hands on.
I remember at this time
I gained a lot of weight with her.
We were asking the owners to give us a bigger house.
Well, no, they were going to give us a bigger house.
Okay.
They were going to give us a bigger house because that was in the plan.
Yeah.
That was just what they had told us. And so they took away the small house that we were in, and they actually said, hey, over Christmas, we're going to try and get the new house in.
And so go live with family.
So we went and lived with our family.
We lived in the upstairs hallway of your parents' house.
Yep. Which would later be the treasure hunt house. But we lived there it ended up being
we didn't have a bedroom. Longer. We were in the hallway.
Yeah. There was a hallway room.
And there was a bunk bed for James and Corbin.
Yep.
And we slept on a mattress on the floor.
Yeah. In the hallway.
But this was after you had Ellie. I think you actually had Ellie while we were still in Santaquin. And then soon after we had Ellie, that's when we went and lived at your parents' house.
That's right. So
she was a couple months old.
Quit jumping the guns. Just kidding. So yeah, and it's funny because I feel like with Ellie, it's almost like I don't remember the most from her pregnancy.
We could watch the weekly update.
I mean, I could. It's available.
They're all there.
Yeah. Her birth was really good. I gained the most weight with her because I ate the most chocolate oranges with her.
Yeah.
But it's all on YouTube. So if I was desperate to remember how it really went, I would easily be able to.
But it was good. No, it was a good birth.
Yeah. Everything went well. It was not hard. It was a good one.
And Pins and Things was doing good.
And Pins and Things started
picking
up a little bit.
I think that video really did well.
It. Yeah.
No, we were doing the weekly pregnancy updates and like sometimes 1 or 2 crafts
videos.
a week.
That's true.
No, we were working hard on it.
Yeah.
We were. And we were seeing some good videos. When you were pregnant, you did like the Ursula costume.
That's right.
So, like the big belly pregnant.
I forget.
We did a lot during that time of year. That was really good stuff.
Well, I couldn't have done that if we weren't at home.
Totally.
Doing Apex
Helping
storage.
take care of James and Corbin and the storage unit so you could film a project.
You know what's funny? Now I look back and I'm like, whoa, what if they had seen that we were doing YouTube and they were like, they're taking their time away from their job. No wonder they're not.
Well, see, that's what I remember them saying when we got fired. I remember them saying, it's not a good job for a family. We didn't want a family in here. And they also said, you know, you guys have YouTube now, so you don't really need this job anymore, kind of.
I don't remember them saying that.
I think I remember them saying something along the lines of, you got YouTube now, that's where your heart is, so...
Oh, I don't remember
just go do that now, I guess.
Let's dive into that in the next episode. What he
because we keep talking about when we got fired.
I know.
We just can't stop talking about it.
It was a huge turning point. I would say that is probably the biggest thing that happened to us to make us go, let's do YouTube. Like, we have to do YouTube.
But before we get to that area, so you had Ellie, we moved in with your parents. And then they took away the trailer that we were living in, and they brought in a double wide.
And they did. They brought it in, but then
it took
months
and months and months to get it hooked up.
It wasn't
and put
their
together.
top priority, I think.
And so we were anxious to start taking care of the storage units again, and they were anxious to have us back.
It was weird. We were living at my parents' house, and I had this feeling like, call them and tell them that you're still waiting.
Right.
Remind them that you're here. Remind them. And I did, and then they were like, oh. Like, it was weird. It was almost like they wanted us to just give up
disappear.
Right then.
Yeah, like they wanted us to
which
just fade away.
Makes sense because then they fired us a few months later.
Right.
They really. So, I don't know. I guess I view it like, oh, that was letting us off easy, trying not to have to fire us, I think.
I think you're right.
But then I called and was like, hey, we still want this job. We're just waiting. We want to work for you. Like, we're just waiting.
And then so what they did is they had another storage complex in the next town. So they had us come and live in the upstairs apartment of this other storage complex. And then I would go and I would park the car. I remember parking the car out at our storage complex in Santaquin. And I would just hang out there whenever people needed help. And I would just help them as they came. For like 2 weeks I did that while they had brought in our double wide trailer and they were getting it stitched together and getting all the plumbing and electrical hooked up so that it would be ready for us to move in.
Wow. That a lot has happened. Wow. Oh, sorry. I'm like,
you forgot all that?
Like I did. Like this is stuff that's so far back in my memory that I've buried that I'm just, other than I remember one very traumatic experience that happened while we were living there. And that was James accidentally smashed Corbin's fingers in the door.
Oh, yeah.
And I have never seen
flat. It was flat finger.
It was flat like roadkill. No joke. He had his finger. It was smashed in the door so bad.
So Corbin had put his finger on the hinges. On the hinge side of the door. It was in the little
where
crease.
There's like, it was in a crease like they had built on that door frame for some reason. There was like a perfect square that the door fit into.
That's normal. All doors are like
that. But like his finger was like in it.
Right.
So when it smashed, it literally smashed it flat.
Right.
And I was sitting there and I was kind of able to see what happened out of the corner of my eye. And he got his finger smashed. James was just opening and shutting the door a whole bunch. He was like 3.
Yeah. Corbin
very young. And
was almost 2.
Actually, I think
James would have been almost 4. Corbin was almost 2.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And right.
So we took Corbin to the
smashed
hospital.
His finger so flat, and I was like freaking out, and I was like, I have to go to the hospital right now. So we went to the hospital. It was broken. I think his fingernail ended up falling off, and like it quickly filled back up with blood and wasn't squished anymore, and then all of a sudden it was very, very swollen. But it was so horrible.
They put on a little finger cast thing just to kind of help protect it, because there was a crack.
Very scary.
There was a crack in the bone.
Yeah.
And it took a
That was probably the first big injury with our kids that I can remember. Other than Corbin had bronchiolitis also. And he spent through a lot.
Right around that same time too.
Yeah.
And we have videos of that too on the old family channel. Because even while we were doing pins and things, we were still posting videos on our old family channel too.
Yeah.
Around the same time.
Random ones that didn't have any rhyme or reason to them. Just like home
edited,
videos, basically.
Right. Just hoping for something to go viral.
Yep.
But pins and things was definitely the big hitter. I think we had a few thousand subscribers.
Yes.
And we were feeling pretty fancy.
What I realized with pins and things was it was significant. It was something that I could put out in the universe that was helpful.
Yeah.
And I think it got traction because of that. Like it wasn't just
and you
nothing.
Had good personality
it was
too.
like
you were fun to watch.
Thanks.
And I was getting better at editing at this point.
Yeah, a little better. We had terrible equipment to work with.
Yeah.
So anyways, let's end it.
I think that's it.
Here. And
next time we will talk about moving into our big fancy double wide house that we love so much.
Our big fancy double wide trailer.
We were so happy for that.
It's funny because at the time, that was the most exciting thing that had ever happened.
But we'll talk about that next week.
Yes.
On Beach Theory. Thank you for tuning in. This was a good episode. Really
if you're listening on the podcast, but you're not watching the video, you should watch the video so you can see little pictures and videos of this time during our lives. Because we do have footage of it. This is when we started pins and things, and we have some... Whoops, there's a burp.
But we're on anywhere you can find podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts. We're also on Facebook now.
Yes.
So you can go like our Facebook page, Beach Theory. We'll have all the same videos and snippets. Beach Theory snippets
if you are subscribed to the Beach Theory on YouTube, you will get sneak peeks all week long of the episode.
Next week's episode.
And then you'll get to watch the whole episode.
Or if you're watching this full episode on YouTube, next week's episode is already live on Anchor and all the podcast places.
And all the spoilers are there, so you can know ahead of time.
Go give it a good listen. We love you guys. Thanks for tuning in to Beach Theory.
Pause the Not Game
Bye.
podcast. Bye.